Let's bring in Texas Republican Congressman Brian Babin. He's a member of the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure and House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology. Congressman, it's pretty frightening that a criminal gang in Europe, Eastern Europe, or maybe in Russia, can bring to its knees one of the largest pipelines in the most powerful country on earth. Are we going to see more of this?
Well, when you see a $5 million ransom paid, and the President of the United States says that's private business, I would think that you're going to see a lot more of this kind of thing happening. You do things in a bad way, you get rewarded for it, you're going to do some more bad things. I think we'll probably see this again.
The official White House line is that Vladimir Putin was unaware or uninvolved with the elements of this attack. Do you believe that?
Well, that's hard for me to swallow, John. And again, the President of the United States, if he thinks that shutting down a pipeline and creating huge amounts of gas shortages, long lines, doubling of prices for gasoline, if that's a private affair and he doesn't want to do anything about it, then whether it's an official state move on Putin's part or whether it was just a rogue Russian crime syndicate, it all has the same effect. And our government should definitely get involved in this. We should never have cooperated because we cannot let crime pay and terrorism pay. And that's what this is.
The gas price average today is $3.04 a gallon. That's after the pipeline hack. 1 year ago, it was $1.87. And the shortages apparently are expected to remain for at least the next couple of weeks. Listen to Patrick DeHaan of Gas Buddy earlier today on Fox.
Maybe a couple of weeks before things really start to feel normal. That is, you don't have to put in a whole lot of effort to find gas. So this is something that still could be a factor, a headache up until Memorial Day weekend, and it should really ease after that.
Obviously, Memorial Day weekend, a lot of people want to go out and do some driving. Is this all because of the pipeline hack? Is it because of the cancellation of the Keystone Pipeline? What's involved here, Congressman?
John, it's all of the above. As the congressman of the 36th District of Texas, I represent really the epicenter of energy in this country. 4 ports, 150 chemical plants, 5 major refineries, lots of energy industry there. And I can tell you, it's not just the hacking of Colonial Pipeline. From the very first day of his tenure as President of the United States, he made a series of executive orders that killed the Keystone Pipeline. He eliminated permitting for fracking on offshore and public onshore leases. All of this had a drastic effect on our fossil fuel industry. This has cost thousands of jobs already. I can tell you, bad policies have bad consequences. And we've gone from a stable economy, prosperity, secure border, the things that we enjoyed during the last administration. In 100 days, we went from energy independence to now having drastic increases in fuel prices, shortages, people out of work. Bad policies have bad consequences, and we're seeing that all across the board, including our southern border as well, John.
We noted that you're on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee in the House. Kevin McCarthy was talking about infrastructure. He met with the president about that. I want to get your thoughts after we hear from the House Minority Leader. Listen.
I felt our meeting was very strong when we talked about infrastructure. I think there's a place that we can find bipartisanship, and it's one thing I brought up to the president. We first have to start with the definition of what is infrastructure. That's not home health. That's road, bridges, highways, airports, broadband. Those are the places we could find common ground and work together.
There are some things that the White House and maybe the Democrats identify as infrastructure that seem pretty far afield from infrastructure per se.
Well, I've served on, since I was elected, I've been serving on Transportation and Infrastructure Committee in the House of Representatives. And let me tell you, I voted in 2015 for a $300 billion infrastructure package, which was a very good one. I think it was very sound. It was an adequate infrastructure package. We certainly need infrastructure in this country to remain competitive around the world. But with the Democrats and under the Biden administration, when everything is infrastructure, nothing is infrastructure. When you have electric cars, when you have elderly care, home health care, when you have child care, this is not infrastructure by any stretch of the imagination. And so I certainly am hoping that we can have bipartisanship here on an infrastructure package. But when I said $300 billion, we thought that was a lot of money back in 2015. And 600, 800 billion, I could see that. But we're talking trillions here. We're talking trillions of dollars and overspending. We've already had a bad jobs report. We had 1 million jobs that were available, and we only filled about 260,000 of them because the Biden administration is paying people to stay home and not work. And we've got an inflation ticking back up. We've got the highest consumer goods increase in price in about 13 years. So I think it's something that we really have to be careful about. And I hope the Biden administration is minding their P's and Q's and being very, very careful that we don't just keep printing money. We got a 30% increase in the funding of money in this country, and that leads to no good. And I hope that this will all turn out well. I'm hoping that we get bipartisanship, and I'm actually a little bit optimistic hearing our minority leaders say this, but we'll wait and see.
Texas Congressman Brian Babin, it's good to have you on. Thank you.
Thank you, John.